Hello and welcome to the opening montage of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. All these pictures belong to HBO and I watched the show on Disney Plus Hotstar in India, so I hope I won't get struck down by a lightning copyright strike. Let's dig into Pig Latin and some serious stuff delivered with huge doses of sarcasm. Boom! Tempus fugit, time flies. It's true, the public has a very short attention span nowadays, leave alone memory, like Steve Martin said, and these sarcastic takes are better than what Steve Martin used to do. Our life is the best treasure trove for emotion. Let's give the world hope with youthful exuberance. America et al. Means America and others. This is sarcasm on a global level and sad but true, like that Metallica song. Carpe weekend refers to Carpe diem, seize the day, made famous by Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. And he also said, "Oh Captain, my Captain," or rather, his students said, "Oh Captain, my Captain," which is a Walt Whitman poem. Reminds me so much of Breaking Bad. The void was the white space in which John Oliver used to record his shows during the pandemic lockdown. Stickus quickus is the vaccine which we have got two doses of as of now. Who knows? And by who, I mean WHO, the World Health Organization. Let's see how many more vaccines we need to take before coronavirus becomes a normal part of the new normal. Sublease Concordium is the White House. The tenant is temporary, the building is permanent. Hello Beerbus seems to be an animoji of John Oliver. Looks like a teddy bear, doesn't it? Alright, Putin is obviously all over the news these days and with good reason. And he's apparently also all over his neighborhood. Serious bad vibes. But let's concentrate on the good. And the next panel is a piece of rat erotica by a guy called Brian Swords, whose nickname is Biohazard. I mean, it's not good to be a biohazard, but seriously, man, what a name to choose. So John Oliver bought this painting for $1,000 and displays it on his opening montage. All right, moving on to the next one, and now this. Jotus is the incumbent US President Joe Biden. In Eternum is the Latin name given to plastics, which means that they are eternal, and that makes a lot of sense because the plastics that we are using will outlast us by many lifetimes. All right. In Eternum is the tagline used for plastics, which are eternal compared to human lifetimes. And the plastics that we are using right now are going to outlast us. So we might as well call them eternal, not the Disney Plus Hotstar and Marvel Studios movie. That was alright. You can check it out in my other videos, or rather, you can check out my reactions to that movie in my other videos. Make sure you tap that subscribe button for awesome max fun. Moving on. Bestia disputabundus is the elephant, which is the symbol of the Republican Party of the United States of America. In Venus Veritas is a take on In Vino Veritas, which means a drunk person always speaks the truth. And the Venus whale, on which this take is based, was a fake product for sexual wellness that John Oliver managed to get endorsed on quite a few TV channels. It's hilarious what people will do for money. Alright. Asinus deditionis is like the elephant is the symbol of the Republicans. The ass is the symbol of the Democrats in the United States of America. Some serious stuff right now. Thoughtus 8 Prayersium is the platitude, thoughts and prayers, offered by celebrities and ineffective politicians when gun violence happens. Just wow. Anyway, let's move on to the next one in the montage of the last week tonight with John Oliver. Okay, Divorcium Universalis with the pride flag means let people love and marry who they want because separation also comes along with companionship or marriages of convenience. And this is one of the things that I have put up in my book, A Life Afloat. Let me show you. So this is my book, A Life Afloat, and I say in it that one of the true things, is that one person can never 100% empathize with another person. And I guess this joke in John Oliver's opening montage is kind of along the same lines. Because we can't really understand even our most dearest loved ones beyond the usual understanding or feelings. Ad infinitum is the sarcastic remark made about America's national debt, which continues to grow. It has a countdown timer, as you can see. Painkillerum are opioids that are killing people on the pretext of taking away their pain. And that reminds me of Dream Theater's song, Take away my pain, I'm not frightened anymore. Memories get triggered so randomly. And at the center of the montage, of this freeze frame of the montage, is Hostus Mostus, John Oliver, spinning on a pedestal, kind of like Sofia Vergara was spun in, I think, one of the Emmy Awards, or maybe was it the Oscars? Way back, 5-6 years ago. Maybe more. The pandemic has, made time so relative. But that was an awkward moment. Alright. The tagline below John Oliver shows that he was born in England, but now he's got, he's emigrated to the United States. Now we get into the fringe images, so to speak. So get ready for more hilarity because all of these images are packed with sarcastic humor. And if you're liking what you're seeing so far, please make sure you tap that subscribe button for more awesome Max fun. Okay, Requiescat in Pace is the actual Latin form of RIP, which has become our byword for every celebrity death. And I hope I too get a hashtag RIP Aradhyaksha when I die. It's inevitable, like Thanos said in Infinity War. But let's be honest, it would be nice to have a hashtag after you die. Anyway, the Statue of Liberty is RIP in this case, and this theme goes forward about the polar bear. So the polar bear image has in memoriam on it. It kind of also calls back to the Sofia Vergara thing. But leave that aside because this is some serious stuff. The polar bear is on the verge of extinction like so many other species. And if we don't want to be on the verge of extinction in the future, we need to become spacefaring. And once humankind is a space-based species, then we can envision a future in which we won't be wiped out before the heat death of the universe. But not to get too technical, if we can outlast the red giant phase of the sun, that in itself will be a huge accomplishment. Okay. Xi Jinping is actually Xi Jinping, or like a Doordarshan anchor called him 11 Jinping. That was heavy. Birdem decapitatorum is the joke Latin name given to wind turbines. So I guess they kill birds. And I will just say this, that renewable energy for the win. I would also like to give a shout out to Nalin, my school batchmate, who is heading a climate energy collaborative and who is taking very serious steps towards making India energy rich and energy free in the future. So do check that out. I will try and give a link in the description below, a relevant link. Okay, moving on. Give me a second. Okay, so Snap him is George Clooney. I couldn't figure out why he has put Snap him over there. But George Clooney, I remember best for a movie called The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's a psychedelic sort of movie. In fact, it's about the experimentation of psychedelics by the US Army. Very weird, but watchable nonetheless. So if you haven't watched that, if you're too young to have come across that on normal TV, then check out your OTT platforms and I'm sure you can find that movie. Okay, there's also this movie on YouTube which is called In Which Annie Gives It Those Ones, and it's a screenplay by Arundhati Roy, one of India's most celebrated writers. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is because Shah Rukh Khan and Manoj Bajpayee have cameos in it from way back when they were like theater actors who were struggling on the Delhi theater circuit. It's a 1989 movie, so I ran across that while I was wiki walking. Wiki walking is something which I like to do, and this montage of John Oliver's gave me a good opportunity to do that. Moving on. IXI1 is 911, which is it reminds me of that Doordarshan thing with 11 Jinping. But 911 is of course America's helpline number for all things bad. Senator's tiebreaker is Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States and full power lady. Way to go, ma'am. Sit Cruor is used with an oil digger contraption, that thing that pulls up oil from the bowels of the earth. And Sit Cruor was also, I think, one of the Latin things. It could be tied to There Will Be Blood, which was another awesome Max movie. But oil and coal and all these uh, fossil fuels are going to be the reason for there being blood. So I guess we should move more towards renewable energy and, like I keep saying, move into space with solar energy. Okay, Touchum Prohibition refers to an episode of John Oliver in which he dwelled on African American people's hair. Ursa Minor means little bear. It's a constellation, but here it means the last dictator in Europe or the last dictator in the world, Alexander Lukashenko. And he has basically taken over Belarus and made it Belarusia. So, like the Ukraine thing that we are seeing happening right now, this guy basically actively let it happen to his country. Magnum Pupus appears with John Oliver in his anti-COVID PPE. He had, put on a heavy plastic suit with gloves and everything to go and attend the naming ceremony of a sewage treatment plant in Danbury, Connecticut. Danbury reminds me of Cadbury and makes me laugh. All right. Whitewashing maximum is US history, which blatantly disregards black oppression in history. E pluribus zero refers to e pluribus unum. E pluribus, e pluribus unum is actually the motto of the United States, which means out of many one. And e pluribus zero, with a nuclear explosion as the image, obviously means out of many none. Right, so none of us are going to survive if a nuclear war happens right now. I mean, I hope that things aren't leading up to that because of this invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Anyway, that's a bleak take on the world as it stands today, but that's reality. Finally, the last thing is Scotus Nominis, which is Ketanji Brown Jackson. She has been nominated to the Supreme Court of the United States by Joe Biden, and a small step for mankind. sorry, a small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind, to paraphrase Neil Armstrong when he landed on the moon. So, with that, we come to the end of this montage of the last week tonight with John Oliver opening. And if you had fun, tap that subscribe button. And I'm Akshat. Good night, take care, stay safe.